today's looking like a really good day. We have a really good setup on euro. I really like the setup, so I'm gonna go straight over it. um Kind of nice how we printed here, but not necessarily well. Whew, we have this clean draw. This is a very high risk trade. I would risk a lot on this trade. So we had let's look up price here. We had sell side liquidity rate, very good sweep here, break of structure, retracement, rate on liquidity, break of structure, retracement. What do we expect now? Price to continue. We have a really good draw here. Our only area of resistance just got mitigated, so this lost relevance. We just have a really easy way there, and our idea is pretty decent. We have 30 pips to deliver here towards the highs. So this is idea is very, very, very good. Very good. I'm sorry for my neck is, I don't know, my throat. So this is looking extremely fucking good here on euro. That's probably the only pair I'll be looking at today. It's just very clean. This is our partial area on this Asian high, and then we leave our finals towards that, so we can get like crazy R here. We get like crazy R. We get 2R on this, and we get like 4 on that. So couple this with like 1.5% risk. This shit is good, bro. UK is a bit weird. There was one opportunity here, but I'm not gonna go over it. It doesn't really matter. We can still proceed higher, but I just don't like that we're in pretty high resistance here on UK, and we have this bearish range that we need to see fired off here. We need to see the higher low, but probably not gonna be looking to trade UK. DAX, still weird. We don't want to be trading this. UJ, I would see some shorts play out of this high right there, but we don't really care. Geo also looks bullish. Geo looks bullish. We have this big ass void to fill, which is good. AU still looks bullish, but it's the weakest pair out of all, so it's clear that what we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at euro. Also gold is bullish. I see it bullish here, but we need again the higher low formation around here to be trading gold here. But definitely euro. We're looking at euro. Euro is very, very clean. This is if you remember on my setups, okay, we're kind of displacing early, but I don't really care. If we displace early, we displace early. Of course, I'm not going to trade pre-London. We already have this market structure shift, and we do have this inversion here, but I would still prefer to wait for the London open. We can get like, if we retrace now and just stall a bit until London open, we can get like this. Stop loss is pretty big, but we get 1.5 on the high, which is decent. It's okay, and we get 3.5 on the high. I generally in this trade I would leave price run towards this. It's such a clear draw on liquidity. Yesterday Charles news left this high intact. It always left there for a reason, for price to later print and take it. So let's see higher time frame as well, but I'm not worried about this void. I'm really easily seeing higher prices here. We had this hourly FVG, we had sell side liquidity rate. Yeah, we were just very, very clear on being bullish here, at least towards these highs are there. We're just very, very clear, so there's no need to be doubting this. This is a very good trade. If you remember, if you guys watch this, when my intuitive or my quality of the trade, I have these. This is usually kind of A setups, and this is A plus 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 setups. Well, this is how the setup is looking, like an A plus plus setup. So we're also gonna risk a lot on this if it somehow happens. So let me update you with the funded account as well, just to put it there. I need to get this like a routine to update the funded. On the funded, we're break even basically now. We took, I think we have 33% win rate because we took 40% win rate. Okay. We took 3 losses and 2 wins basically. So this was 1 win today where we made 2R, and this was 2R getting lost. So in total we are break even. Yeah, these were just when my execution slipped, but overall I think we're chilling. I'm really confident that I'm gonna pass this account. So we're gonna see with this. This has a lot of potential, right? This trade has a lot of potential. We can make a lot on this, especially with 1.5 towards 2% risk. We can make a lot, but we're waiting for that London open break. Even if the trade is extremely good, we came into equilibrium here. We cannot really force a trade, right? We cannot force our entry, especially not pre-London. So these are just kind of noise in my opinion, right? They're kind of noise. We don't really want to be trading, in my opinion, nothing pretty much here. We can trade you, but I would want to see a 50-minute gap here to be printing. But it's clear that euro is just like Bro, this is an A plus setup, A plus plus setup. What do we have here? Even pre-NFP doesn't fucking matter. I'm pretty sure we're gonna deliver this. And the plan for this trade is not taking instant trims on this high, is waiting for behavior, because it's really important here. I'm really confident that we're gonna draw towards this high, so I'm not really looking to close here like early at a 1.5. But if price gives behavior, I'm considering trimming around this area. So I'm looking at behavior, meaning I don't want to see a bullish gap or see some momentum print around these highs for me to be confident in letting price run here. But that's my plan. Like, this is a very good trade. Very good trade. We have very clear drawn liquidity, and this is 80% of a trade. Remember, 80% of a trade is drawn liquidity, and the 20% is just timing our entry right here. That's the only thing that matters. So we have 10 more minutes. I would like to see kind of a slow retrace, like something like this, and then break higher. But we can also break higher now, then retrace, then break again. But yeah, this is a very good trade. So I'm just getting ready with my broker. Oh yeah, also the personal is at 111. It's pretty good. We're doing pretty good on the personal. It was at 30, remember. So personal 110, which is I think 4 times the initial balance, and the funded is at break even by now, but I'm not worried about that. At this point I know I'm profitable. Like, it's not, I'm just consistent in my actions, and I'm profitable. I already seen profitability for, like, consistent profitability for 1 month and something at this point, so I'm really not worried. I know how I got it, and I'm just gonna replicate how I got it, and it's by taking trades like this on a consistent basis. And also, this is also really clean here. The sell set rate is just very clean. The setup is a no-brainer for me. But we cannot just jump pre-London. We cannot do that. But even though this looks pretty good here as a good gap, but we're just gonna wait. That's just troll. Even though the trade is very good and it looks very good, we cannot just jump like idiots. You know what I mean? Just jumping and then get stopped out. We do have these equal lows here, but I wouldn't necessarily be worried. I would be worried if I would enter pre-London, but we have some slight equal lows here, but I don't think it's gonna take them. It doesn't look like very important equal lows in a sense, or we might still take them, but we're waiting like 7 minutes for London open. And I also like this is a good price actually, because there's 2 reasons why it's also really good. Because once we fought this bearish POI, we already mitigated. POIs lose relevance when we mitigate them, so the fact that we mitigated it here, the POI loses chance to hold lower. So that's good for our direction of the trade, because we're looking to buy. Second, if you look at 5 minute, the only area I would be also concerned about is this inversion and the sharp rejection around these highs here, but even that got mitigated here, so we cleared both of the POIs in our way. That's why the trade is so good, because we just cleared the only resistance we had in our way, and now price can easily deliver higher, can break here, can beat this, and just hold towards the high. Also, this I think was the trade we took on the personal. I didn't even see it. It's just very short. The trade we took on the personal on Jaws job openings. Let's just wait on this shit and see. It looks like a fucking crazy good trade. And we also got the higher low confirmation, which is what we do when we wait for a bearish range to get fought off or get cleared. When is that we form a higher low, meaning we switch order flow bullish. So now let's see us come back here and then inverse this. This is very good. I very much like the trade. I just don't want to be overconfident in the trade, right? Still focus on consistency. That's always in my mind. I'm always aware of being consistent. It's very important. So being consistent meaning not forcing an entry. Here I would take even an iffier entry because I feel like the context carries the trade a lot, but we still need to be careful. Like, we cannot just throw ourselves in this trade and just buy pre-London. ADUSD looks like a short buy model here, but I don't like we need like an inversion or some shit here. If we inverse this, we can look at buys, but I wouldn't really prefer that necessarily. I would still look at Euro here. Euro's generally the only pair I'm looking at. I guess I really like it. We can get even a better entry here. Let's wait, maybe we reach into equal lows. That can also happen here. or we just react off equilibrium again. We have 5 more minutes, which is kind of perfect to be initiating that displacement. If we do, for now, looks like we're slightly bearish. We might be reaching into these equal lows first before initiating bullish, but now it kind of looks like we're forming that lower high of this bearish range, which is not great, but we're still waiting. I still love this trade, so I'm still gonna wait. It's a fucking it's an A++ trade with this drawn liquidity. Like, come on, bro. I want to see if this drawn liquidity is present on the broker as well. Let's go 15 minute. Yeah, it's present. It's present on the broker as well, probably on funded next as well. Let's go euro. Where are you? Yeah, it's right here. Oops, I was on 1 minute. It's right here. Let's draw a line here just to have it marked. We're already preparing our terrain, so we're already making our plan on how we want to approach this shit. Let's see. It's very important now. If we inverse this is my entry right there. It's my entry. If we inverse, I would still like a bit more to see that equal lows get taken here, and we look like we're gonna take it. But yeah, this is gonna be the area of invalidation, definitely, because it's this previous area of inversion. It's also this mini inversion printed within it, so it holds a lot of relevance, this overall area. So this is what we're waiting for price to break. If not, I don't really see a reason why we would print lower. The only reason why I would see price print lower is either to take this equal lows or take Asian lows. It's one of the other, but I wouldn't really be expecting lower prices here. My bias is pretty strong. We can of course just hold lower of that 50-minute mitigation, but I would still be very confident that we're gonna draw higher towards that that drawn liquidity. And we also have this POI right there, which is perfect for our target. So yeah, let's see now in London Open, how do we behave, because it matters a lot. If we can do this and build a fractal low and then proceed lower prices and maybe then build, or we can just straight up inverse now. It depends. I think we're reaching basically on these equal lows here, but we're gonna see. Yeah, we're already reaching to those. This is looking pretty bearish for now, but let's be patient. Let's be patient and let's look at, okay, UK already melted lower, so we don't really want to trade UK anyway. DAX is extremely choppy. We don't want to be trading DAX, so I'm gonna put them here on pause. I like UJ. If we get like a 50-minute gap lower, I would be tempted to draw towards this big ass gap right there, but yeah, still not the greatest setup. Same with, yeah, it's just they're not really great setups. They're not great, and euro looks pretty bearish right here, but we're just gonna be patient and wait for our idea, because I still believe in this idea. So we're gonna see. This was a false market structure shift, basically. It was just a rate on liquidity. But let's see over these equal lows. That would be even better for us to be taking this trade. But sadly, we cannot trade unless we see this invalidated, because there's a very high chance we form that fractal high and keep pursuing lower prices. So we're gonna see. We might be reaching for Asian lows though. But this looks pretty bearish. It looks like we're playing this trend in Asia. For now, yeah, it looks pretty bearish here. But we're still gonna wait. This is still my idea. I'm still gonna wait for it. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. So it doesn't really matter if we get it or not. For me, it's just about being patient here and waiting for what I want to see, because this move lower doesn't change anything. It doesn't change, doesn't invalidate the trade, doesn't do anything pretty much. It doesn't change anything. It just changes that we need to see a bit of a bigger move. So what I'm seeing here that's gonna happen is gonna be something like this, and then break, and here's our entry. We cannot enter pre that, because we have a lot of bearish momentum here, and we have this 3-minute inverse, which is very dangerous here. If you look at 3-minute, it's very dangerous around this area. So let's just wait and see. Yeah, it's looking like a good trade even now, but now it looks slightly bearish. I wouldn't necessarily expect Asian lows to get taken. They look kind of weak, but we did come into this inversion here. We might come lower maybe for this and then print bullish, but yeah, let's see. We're starting to react a bit, but I do want to see a lot of momentum here. Come on. But this would be perfect as a Judas swing for London, just to open and switch. But at this point we need to wait for higher low again, because we just formed very short of flow, so we need to wait for a higher low again to be entering this. We can just, when we see bearish momentum, we always need to wait for the higher low, meaning the structure to switch and the bearish momentum to wear off. But yeah, we cannot trade here. Definitely this is forced. If you want to trade here, we need to wait for definitely some structure. Even if the trade is good, as I said, we cannot just jump in the trade like blindly. The trade is really good, but we need to wait. We need to time our entry well. We cannot just jump. A good start though. As I said, this is what I want to see. This will have a pretty big stop loss if this happens. So I will probably put it here, not here. But we're gonna see what it does. Let's first see what it does and then make decisions. Now we're in this terminal inverse, so it matters a lot on how we behave to it. I would say it's a pretty dangerous inverse, but we did break liquidity, and now if we actually yeah, this can look like a good 3-minute entry straight off the bat if we break, but I'm not sure. I want to enter before I see this small FVG here get inversed. Yeah, this is a pretty bearish inspection, but let's not be eager to take conclusions. Oh shit, Jules bearish here. Do we have any confluence to be looking at shorts here? We do have a 4-hour, I think, here. We have this inversion that we reached into, but we don't have any triggers. We don't have any POIs. So the fact that we don't have a 50-minute POI here invalidates my trade idea. We do have this, but I would have wanted to see a 50-minute POI here. This looked like a good start, but again, we're just waiting. I would not trade sells on you. I'm just trading, I think, only euro. At least now only euro. If we get our trade here. So this is what I'm seeing. I'm waiting for now to get inverse to kind of change structure here. Let's see. I'm curious if we take Asian lows or we just start breaking higher off here. So now we get a bit of a better R. If we break, of course. We get way better R. We get 2.3 if we execute like this, and we get like probably 5, 4.6 on the high. I want to see now reject off this and start breaking higher. I don't think this necessarily holds relevance now. I think the area that holds more relevance is this. Let's just double check. 50-minute we do have an inverse, but I wouldn't really care about an inversion like this. I mean, we kind of need to care. Now we need to care because yeah, it's a 50-minute inverse. It's an opposing PD array, so we need to wait for it to get broken. Pretty much. Maybe break, retest. We would probably, that's what I would like to see here. That would be perfect. If we break, retest here, and then we enter around here, stop us below the inversion or below this, and that would be perfect to take price towards the highs. But we need to wait. Like, I cannot do this. I just did this mistake Monday. I'm not gonna do the mistake again of now waiting for the inversion when the 50-minute FVG or 50-minute opposing PD array is present. We need to wait for the inversion, because it's just the consistent decision, right? And that's how I turn profitable, by being consistent. It's just the consistent decision to wait for this area to get broken, because that invalidates bearish order flow, and that means we're gonna hold higher. If we break here and we enter here without breaking the 50-minute here, it just doesn't mean shit, right? This holds a lot of relevance, and it also overlaps with that area. So yeah, that's what we're waiting for. It's just a consistent decision. There's no non-negotiable, right? We cannot negotiate things like this. Or if your strategy says do something, you're just gonna do it. There's nothing to negotiate with. Oh, maybe this time I'm gonna take it, maybe not. If you want to turn profitable, you need to stick to that shit on a consistent basis, and we all know that shit. It's just hard to do, right? But it's hard to do because we allow ourselves to negotiate, right? We say, okay, maybe this time I'm gonna take it. Maybe, oh, that's a good way. Maybe this time I'm gonna take it. And it's gonna work. Only this time I'm gonna do this, bro. No, don't do that shit. Just stop the negotiation, because that's where you end up getting pushed to not sticking to your rules, because you negotiate with yourself. It's just, if this becomes something non-negotiable, there's no way for you to slip, right? To not stick to your rules. This is a good break here. I think we can do this. I'm thinking. Where is my entry? I think on this right there. Yeah, I like this breaker. I'm gonna see. The only reason I would make an exception this time is because I'm really confident in bias, and sometimes what I do is, I mean, if we get a too strong of a break, we cannot really take it. Sometimes what I do is, and it's very hard to do, is depending on how strong context is, I take away confluence from the idea, right? Meaning we don't need to be so how do I say, so picky with the trade itself. because the context carries the trade. That's what I wanted to say. We're doing like 15 lots. Ooh, 13 lots. 13.5. Kind of like that shit. I do like this gap that is forming around here. And I like this order block. This order block protects our stop loss. But I'm gonna wait a bit more. Probably gonna use markets here. That's a pre-bear, so we're not. I'm waiting for a bit of reaction here to see if this ends up holding, because it's still a riskier play. Because look, we rejected the 50-minute AVG, right? It's a riskier play, of course. I'm being extremely patient and extremely cautious for me to decide whether I'm executing without seeing that 50-minute inversion complete. I just said that you should not negotiate with yourself, but it's something really advanced, and I'm doing this with a reason, because context is very, very strong here. That's why I'm doing it. I mean, it looks decent, but I just don't fully trust it yet. Okay, I'm executing right there. Yeah, that was a good execution, I think. Let me see if I didn't execute on the personal. Oh shit, I need to hurry. I was like, oh my god. We're doing a lot on this. I don't care. Even if you get a bad fill, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm doing like this. I think it's fine. Okay, we're doing it. Oh, we got filled like dog shit. But it's all good. And our take profit is gonna be here. Not here, my bad. Here. As I said, bro, this trade is a no-brainer for me. I just was a bit patient. See the exception here. See the exception. Usually you don't want to do it. But now I'm doing it because I'm just extremely confident in this trade. It's with an exception. When you have a trade that you're really confident in, you need to be a bit more aggressive with your entries, with your risk, with your stop loss. When you have a trade that's iffier or looks like a bit more like shit, you need to be a bit more conservative and wait for more confluence, in a sense. Do you get what I mean? It's about adapting here. I don't really like that we're rejecting again, but I don't think it matters long term. We're just letting it fly. So look, if we look at here, okay, that's good. So on the funded, we're up like 0.5 again. I risked 1.5 on this, so I do want to see us break here. That's not a great rejection, but I still believe in my buy. So this, and we were like -1 because I executed a bit late here. We did take the high, but I would still choose to trust. No matter what really happens with the trade, I think I did take the consistent decision of this inversion, and I think not fully waiting for the 50-minute inversion was the good choice because of context being extremely valid and extremely strong on us drawing towards that high. Right, we're gonna see after the trade is over if I made the right decision or not, but yeah, I don't like these rejections, but I would not be worried about what 1 minute candles say, right? We should be chilling. We should be stalling a bit around this inverse because we did come above it, right? Even though the bodies are not strong, we should stall a bit and then initiate. But we did raid this high, which makes us slightly dangerous. But chill, papi, chill. I'm curious if that was a dog shit play by me or it was actually a smart play, but I would consider still. We had an equal low sweep into inversion. We didn't need to wait for that 50-minute AVG to get inverse. That's what I think, but I might be wrong. Of course, I might be wrong. No one says I might, so maybe that decision is not worth making. I just talked about it, but as I said, I did this previous times in the past when there's a heavy trade that you're really confident in. You don't need to be that perfectionism. You don't need to have that perfectionism on trading. So we'll see if it's the right trade. I'm down to be wrong always. So I don't really care about the result of the trade. I want to see this order block, how we behave to it. Let me see if I actually set a stop loss to this, or we just hold higher from here. So Oh yeah, now I'm putting a stop loss. Oof, with a lot of risk on this trade, but I don't care. Risk doesn't fucking matter. Risk is an illusion. If you're, of course, not going like crazy, like 5% or some shit. Yeah, okay, we're chilling. I might take profit. I'm gonna set him off under it. So now if we inverse, I'm down to scale in, of course. I'm always down to scale in on my trade. Even if we are pretty high risk on this, I'm down to be scaling in. And the reason we might ask, why are you entering before Asian lows get taken? Well, I'm entering before Asian lows get taken because Asian lows already pull back within our POI. So when this happens, it's unlikely for us to see that low get taken. When price already mitigates a POI, it's unlikely for price to come mitigate it again. Not a great reaction, but again, I wouldn't be scared here. I just choose to trust. Maybe I'm stupid, but as I said, I think for now it's the right decision. And this, sadly, this high got invalidated, but I don't care. I don't care, boy. Boy. This doesn't look great, but as I said, just choose to trust. Because I'm seeing that higher low form at most of this order block right here. If we fail and yeah, we get manipulated, it is what it is, but I'm taking my chances with the trade. That's what I see, like us forming that higher low here and starting breaking higher. We don't need perfect entries. In trades like this, we don't need perfect entries. Our stop loss is well protected. We rated equal lows here. We inverse. We didn't need much more. We inversed this 3-minute, which was our very strong influence. Yeah, we could have waited for that 50-minute inversion for the best entry possible, but I'm gonna wait for that to scale in because I'm being a bit more aggressive here with this trade. As I said before, I'm being a bit more aggressive because I just trust it a bit more than normal trades in a sense. So as you see, at this point, I'm just letting price really do the talking. I'm gonna go smoke a cig, and I'm just gonna let price run here. As I said, I'm confident in it. We just gotta let price do his thing. Didn't get the best feel possible, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. That much. It does affect your R, but it's not crazy, right? It's a risky play to do this, but there are some times where being risky is the consistent decision, right? Even if it looks like the consistent decision is waiting for that 50-minute inverse, there's some times when context is so good that it's good to be riskier and a bit more aggressive. I don't like this rejection, but as I said, I don't give a shit. I do trust this trade. It's just not being blindly trusting it, but I do trust that we're gonna break. We have now equal highs here. I just see that happening. It's just up to price to really do that. So yeah, I really think this was the consistent decision here, but we're gonna see what price dictates. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. I don't really care about getting stopped out. I care about taking trades that are good and consistent. Yeah, we're not looking that great here, but we're chilling. I would still say we're chilling. Entry is timing, so I would say even if we get stopped out here, we're probably still gonna get an opportunity to be buy here. But this is a pretty bad rejection. But it's a very small 1 minute, and these are usually temporary rejections. So we're still letting it run. Hell yeah, bro! Don't be scared, bro. We're hell out of letting it run because I just trust the fucking trade, and I'm not being biased. I mean, I have a good bias. We look like we're about to get stopped, but as I said, for me it doesn't really matter whatever happens with the trade. For me, it matters that I'm trying to be consistent. And even today, the decision was made from a space of being consistent, right? But now I'm realizing that this decision was still worth waiting for price to invalidate that 50-minute AVG, because until it does, yeah, it pretty much doesn't mean anything. So sad that we just got stopped out for 1 point almost 2%. So we gave back all the profit that we made yesterday, but um inconsistent decision was there to blame. This was still the consistent decision. Sadly, we lost. It's sad, but what can you do? Right, I'm just straight up going to journal the trade. It's not a bad intent. That's the problem. That's the thing. It was not from a bad intent, but we just that 51 AVG. Yeah, it was just a consistent decision. No matter how confident you're in the trade, yeah, that was the consistent decision. Let's wait. We still might get the trade, but I'm slightly annoyed because I knew what was the right decision to be made here, and we lost a lot, bro, on this, because I said I was confident in the trade. On the person we lost like $12, and on the fund we lost like 1.8% or some shit, which because the risk on the trade was pretty high, but it doesn't work. Yeah, we lost a lot on this, but it is what it is, right? It's annoying, but was that fault, right? Was that fault? Still me at the end of the day. So now for me to really enter the trade, we're waiting on that shit. So still, it was not done from a bad mental space. That's the thing. It was not psychological. It was me trying to be consistent and thinking that, okay, this is what we're looking at. But it is what it is. So sometimes you take L's, and we're stalling again. Yeah, we're looking like we're just invalidating the trade idea. And that here would have told us that, and I did say initially, okay, we're waiting on this to get inverse. We didn't inverse it, shouldn't have traded. But I thought it's okay to be aggressive here, which isn't, because still with that 50-minute inversion still holds a lot of relevance, and until it gets inversed, it doesn't fucking mean shit. So yeah, this looks like it is our day. I'm not looking at like any trades. I'm just looking at this Euro USD that looks like it's gonna get invalidated, and we just printed bearish, which is fucking annoying, I do admit. But what are we gonna put this annoyance in? Being consistent. Really confident in draw here. POIs got cleared. I also wanna place this 50-minute inversion here to just be aware of it. We had this double inversion. Sometimes, yeah, even the best trades fell, but this wasn't a trade failing. It was me taking the bad decision here, right? 50-minute inversion. So here clearly we had to wait for it to get inverse. From now on waiting for 50-minute gaps to get inverse becomes non-negotiable. No matter how strong the context is, pretty much, like, no matter how strong the context is, we cannot trade unless we see that inversion here, because we look at price and we see that it got rejected on the highs. It's annoying. Yeah, I took an L. We could have avoided it. It's annoying that my bias didn't play out here, and I'm very rarely wrong on bias, but what can you do, right? Sometimes it's wrong. It's annoying, but yeah. And we put this entry here. Entry was not bad. Entry was not bad if we didn't have the 50-minute inversion. If we had no gap, no 50-minute gap. So yeah, it just becomes non-negotiable. This is the lesson for today. We got punished pretty hard with this lesson, but this is just trading. Was extremely confident in draw and overall bias. But yeah, that 50-minute inversion here, that's just the reason why this trade failed. And I knew, and I said, okay, I'm waiting for this is the most consistent decision. But again, it's not wrong, right? My intent behind this trade was not psychological. I didn't force the trade because I wanted to make money. I took this trade before waiting toward that because I thought it's a time to be more aggressive. Good psychology, good. What did I do right? What did I do right? Nothing much. Nothing. Nothing really. What did I do wrong? I mean, came from a good mental space to try and make the consistent decision, and I thought in this case we need how do I say, we need to be more aggressive. But 50-minute VG holds a lot of relevance, and no matter how strong context is, if we don't inverse that, we hold bearish. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's why we lost on this. But it's annoying. Yes, we risked a lot. Could have skipped it. Could have been still a break even for the day. But what can you do? You always learn in trading. No matter if you're profitable or not, you still always learn. No matter what. So yeah, 50-minute inversions do become non-negotiable now, no matter how good the context is. That's what I thought, because I thought that sometimes, okay, when context is really strong, how it was in this case for me, that were very likely to be drawn higher towards that, I thought, okay, maybe I don't need to wait for that 50-minute inversion to fully complete, right? But apparently you need to do that. I think you need to do, it's just a consistent decision that should be made every time. So every time you have a 50-minute inversion in your way or a 50-minute gap, you need to wait for it to get broken, because here we rejected it. We didn't close above it. This gray zone is the 50-minute bearish VG, and we see we rejected twice. So here our criteria should have been, okay, we're waiting for this to get closed above, and then we can take the trade. But yeah, you always learn. 50-minute inversions and waiting for them to get closed is gonna be a non-negotiable rule. And that's it. That's what we learned in this. We got punished pretty hard, but that's how you learn in trading. You learn by getting punished. Even though I wanted the week to be different, it's not about what I want, it's about what really happens. So the duration was not long. It was like 15 minutes. Entry was inversion. Entry time was pretty close to London Open, 10:06. RR minus 1 point something. We risked pretty much a lot on this. Zero position buy, result lose, risk. Intuition, I feel like this trade, sadly. I really like this trade. We had, what do we had? We had 50-minute plus 50-minute. I think hourly as well, but it doesn't really matter. Minus 1.8. It's a lot of percentage loss, but I'm not mad at it. I'm just I'm always learning, right? Always learning, even as a profitable trader. What was the edge? Gap to gap, I think. Idea continuation. It was a continuation trade. Mistake. How do I say? I would say danger zone, because this is a danger zone that we need to wait for it to get inverse today. I don't think we have news. Performance, I would put it like an 8.5. Performance is not bad. It's just that we didn't take the most consistent decision, and this is what always happens. But we're gonna still wait on this. Now we still need to wait for that inversion to happen. Like now we're bearish, so it's gonna take some time. Annoying. Again, we lost. Annoying. But what can you do? This is trading. We cannot get mad now and get like demoralized that we lost. But this is just trading, right? I did risk a lot on the trade, but yeah, maybe I should have done things differently a bit. But we're gonna wait. If we get, like, this is the only way I'm gonna retake this trade. If we come like this, retest the 50-minute inversion and then enter it. But it's sad, it's annoying that we didn't want to play out straight off the bat. Like, bro, this yeah, man, this trade was very, very good. It was an A++ trade, and we didn't want to play it. We needed to, I don't know, pen bearish first, which is annoying. But yeah, this is just trading. We cannot really get affected emotionally by this, because this will just stall us. The first week of trading, especially on the funded here, I'm just expecting a bit more refinement in a sense, but we just might have came for those Asian lows, probably. So that would probably still be the most consistent decision. Probably we can even look for the buy right now, but I don't know if I want to do it though. That's a very good wick. I don't know if this is a consistent decision to take. The 50-minute now lost a lot of relevance. That's the thing. Because it got mitigated 3 times. It lost a lot of relevance, so potentially do something like this. Let's see. I'm pretty confident that we're gonna buy. I think now it would be the time to be aggressive, I would say. Let me see. It's just timing that got off. We just came for Asian lows and now we're gonna go higher. We hold the 15 AVG to pursue lower prices and now we're gonna go. Still took it here. Both of the accounts. It's just intuition. Maybe I'm forcing it, but I'm really down to try. I don't give a shit. I don't think this 50-minute AVG now holds any single relevance. I think it just will break through it. Yeah, it's just timing that we got fucked on timing, but it is what it is, right? We learn always. It doesn't mean once you're gonna turn profitable, you're never gonna be making any mistakes. That's not the case, right? Even when you're profitable, you're gonna still have mistakes that you make. A very good display, so we came and closed back above this 50-minute inversion. We inverse these two gaps, we formed a very good display, and now we're definitely reaching higher, in my eyes at least. So let's see. Now I'm in 1% on the fund that I can do 1.5. Maybe I'm scaling in around here, but we cannot do more than 1% here, sadly. Even though I won too much risk on the day. Yeah, this definitely could have been avoided, and now that makes us around the break-even day, I would say. But it does depend how much price is gonna run, because as I said, my final target is these highs here. But I don't know if we have that much volatility to print for London today, because this is a lot of pips. It's 30 pips, so I don't know if I necessarily want to leave price run that much. Now I think we're definitely gonna go higher, just intuitively. This is an intuition play. I don't think it's psychological. Again, forcing the trade. I'm always looking at myself. Am I forcing? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? It's just I think price is gonna go. Now we just got bad timing, as most of the times is my usual mistake, because I don't take consistent decision and I don't wait for that enough confluence for price to really tell me, okay, now we're going. You get what I mean? But we got, for now we have a good entry. And yeah, that was also over risk, so that's what I'm gonna put here. It was over risk for the timing of the trade, not the timing but the entry. So where's the mistake part? I'm gonna also put risk, too much risk, over risk on that one. Well, now we're looking good. As I said, we should just be chilling at this point. I'm annoying that, okay, we just took a 2% loss. I wanted it to be 1.5. It wasn't. 2% loss. Now if this trade hits TP, we're just gonna be at break even for the day, which is fucking annoying, but we might have an opportunity to scale in 0.5 here and be able to make, because that scaling will legitimately make the profit for the day. It's annoying because this could have definitely been avoided. This loss that we took earlier where I bought here, not here, here, got stopped out, swept Asian lows, then continue higher, that easily could have been avoided. But as I said, sometimes we're gonna make mistakes. As I said, look at our orders if you want to see. If you don't believe that I executed, this is my position underfunded after just taking a 2% loss, and this is my position again, a buy limit here on the personal. Sadly, this may set around the break-even day, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We cannot be stuck in the past or stuck in the mistakes that we made. We just gotta keep going. And as I said, I'm down to rescaling in here. It's sad because we could have did this 1.5, make like 3% and be in profit, but you always learn. The lesson that I learned today, that 15-minute gaps in getting inversed are non-negotiable thing. Now we learn, now we know better. Next time we're not gonna take this loss. So for now we're just letting it run. I don't have any TP set on the trade. I'm just letting it breathe. we're still stalling a bit around that 15 MVG, but as I said, I'm just trusting that at least we're gonna take the spice of liquidity before potentially reversing, of course, or we retrace then go higher. But I would still say we just hold off here. Like I would see something like this happen, retrace. Here's where we have our potential scaling, and then just target that high for London. That's what I would say would happen here, but we still always gotta see. Our entry is good for now, really good entry, but unless price of course carries on, it doesn't mean much. But as I said, this was the time to be aggressive, right? This was the time to be aggressive here on this entry, not here. Because we just had Asian lows, and leaving off Asian lows, especially with a break like this, is rare. Like this break was shit. Looking back at it now, the break was shit. We needed to see something like this to actually leave off Asian lows, but you always learn, as I said. Even if this ends up being a break-even day, you always learn. I cannot be mad at myself learning, because this is me still lacking in consistency, right? Me still figuring things about myself, about my strategy, about how I would trade, right? All these things. I'm still figuring myself out. That's why I'm not going to be mad at myself for making mistakes, because this was done from a good space of mind. It was not done to force the trade. It was done with a good intent of taking the best decision. I just took the wrong decision, which happens, right? You cannot really be taking all the right decisions all the time. Sometimes you slip, even if you take them, even if you're profitable, sometimes you just slip, right? Yeah, I would really say we attack this trendline liquidity here, but we're going to see. I do want to see some strong initiation. For now, we're stalling a bit. Of course, there's still sellers around this area, but yeah, I would say we reach into Asian highs for London, and then we might reach into this for New York. But I usually want to be out within a session of a trade. You get what I mean? That's not entirely great. Yeah, that's not great. Should we still trust it? Yeah, I think we should still trust it. I don't really care about what really happens in terms of results. I just care about making the most consistent decision. At this point, I see us at most come back into this. So we either just come for this wick, bait it, and hold higher, or we come for this break-even mitigation here on our good entry. Good entries like this almost every time get mitigated at break-even. Meaning, if we take our entry here, we most of the times getting mitigated at break-even. But yeah, we're still holding that 50-minute inverse. But yeah, it's pretty crazy wicks there. I don't know for sure whether I should be closing the trade or not. Let's see if we react off the low or if we come lower towards break even. I'm going to take this low right now. I still see price coming, retest, break in, taking this buy side, retesting and holding higher, but we do have a lot of wicks on the 50 minutes. Look at this, of that inversion. So both ways can happen, but I still am inclined towards my bias because I'm confident we're reaching back into Asian highs and into these equal highs here. I just don't know. I don't think we're gonna have that much volatility to print towards here in London, because it's still Asian highs. It's 20 pips, which is decent, is normal for London, and we have 30 pips on the highs. And on an NFP day, I don't think on Thursday, tomorrow having NFP, I don't know if we're gonna have that much volatility to be printing towards here in London, meaning in London. Usually London has 20 pips in it, 20 to 30 pips, and if we actually measure this move, we have 25 pips. So that's usually what London's got into it. Let's see if this gets inversed. That's what I want to see here. Boom, let's eliminate this. Let's make it a bit more clear. And we have rated this low. So now it's all about seeing us break higher. That's what I want to see here. That's a pretty bearish reaction we're getting, but again, I just see us forming the higher low here and still pursuing higher prices. And we still rejected this, which is pretty crazy, I would say. But I think 3 times now we're gonna break. That's just what I see. Again, that's just what I see. So I'm just gonna let it run. Even though it would be technically summing up a break-even day, but it is what it is, right? We gotta stand on business. Gotta stand on our mistakes. We made a mistake earlier. It happens. It's normal. We're humans. Even the best traders make mistakes sometimes. Always remember that. Probably this can be the break-even mitigation in a sense, but we're gonna see. We're still holding that's bearish gap here, which is not great. I wouldn't say necessarily worrying either, but not that great. So I'm probably just gonna play. I don't want to really sit and watch every single tick of this price. Just want to be detached and just play, chill, and wait for price to do its thing here. So as I said, I see this price action sometimes, and now I see that yeah, the third time we're mitigating that area, we're breaking it. That's just how I see it. Maybe I'm tripping, but that's just what I know based on my experience. Let me just check chat real quick. I don't know if anyone's watching the stream, but it's all good though. Let's see now initiate above. I would say still this is a very easy draw. These Asian highs for today, I would say it should be easy. I mean for London today actually, I would say just easy to deliver there. And then I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm not sure. If we have a scaling, I'm considering of course leaving that scaling run. Yeah, this could have been avoided definitely, and then enter here, and now we would have had a dub day instead of a break-even day. But as I said, it's all good. Sometimes you make mistakes, which even the most profitable traders have break-even days or break-even weeks. Even TGR I know had a break-even week recently, so we all have mistakes, right? It just matters that we learn, right? It just matters that when this day ends, I learn something from this, right? I learn something from every trade I take, because that's how you're going to improve long term, and this learning compound into you turning profitable. That every trade you take, even when you're unprofitable, you learn from it. If you don't learn from it, you're never really actually improving. I'm pretty confident that we're going to reach back into this. After we come back in break-evens, I see us really coming into that buy-sell liquidity. Maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm not, but I'm down to always learn, and I'm down to be wrong. I see these mini wicks get raided here, and then we form a higher low, and then from here we break. We'll see. Let's see how we hold that green area. That's what it's important here. You might still initiate bearish. That can also happen. But I would just choose to trust, and if it loses, it loses. I don't really care about losses, as I said. That's a pretty strong bearish reaction. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm biased, but I still see us taking those mini fractal highs that we have. This trendline liquidity above the highs. So let's see how we react over the green area. That's what matters here. Give me an SMG, bro. Bro, how, bro? We gotta pay attention to this now. That should get inversed. If we were to continue bullish, if we are to continue bearish, we're holding it. So that's what I'm gonna pay attention to potentially close the trade, of course. The fuck? Okay. I see this. It matters a lot, but we look like we're holding bearish. Maybe again I'm forcing. Maybe without realizing. So see how it behaves with that bearish gap. It's extremely important. It dictates what we're gonna do next. Fuck is you, bro? I don't know. For now, I can't really see. I still think that big bearish gap is gonna get mitigated. So, yeah. Tus morți, mati. I don't know. That's a pretty bearish inspection. Should we just close and call it a day? Maybe. For now, I'm still gonna let it a bit more. I still think we're gonna come towards that buy some liquidity though. And closing early is slightly stupid. Even if I take a loss, I take a loss. I know I'm gonna recover, right? I know I'm gonna recover, but I don't know. Kinda unbiased here in a sense. That's pretty bad. Oops. Yeah, that's pretty bad, but I'm gonna wait for that gap to form. If that gap form and gets respected, I'm gonna close slightly early. I mean, slightly earlier. My bad. I had a good reaction out, but still, we're still holding that 50-minute FVG, which is crazy. Yeah, I think that's just a non-negotiable rule from now on. Even no matter how aggressive what intuition says, I think you should still wait for that 50-minute gap to get inversed, that zone to get inversed, no matter what really happens in between. Right, that's just consistency, to be honest, and entering a point where you have like very good confluence that your trade is gonna work. And a 50-minute inversions are extremely important all the time. Yeah, it looks like the bearish entry is getting rejected. That's why I'm still trusting the trade. But for now, we're gonna let it run, no matter if, yeah, maybe we made the wrong decisions, bro. I don't know. I'm gonna reflect on this day, and yeah, I just want to lock in at this point. It's time to lock in, even though we started kind of with the left foot. It doesn't really matter. It matters how we stabilize, and yeah, how we stabilize pretty much. We're gonna see. That's a good start. We just want to see the inversion. Oops. We really nicely retested that Asian low there. That's really nice behavior. I would say again, we're reaching into a buy set. At some point, I see this pattern a lot of times, but it does depend as always. That was dog shit. Okay, now we're inversing. Or not. Or not. Fuck you, bruh. Yeah, this looks like now we're gonna reach back into here. We should at least. I still think the trade is gonna work. And I think I'm biased just by looking at price, but as always, it does depend. Now we fully fill this gap here, which is a pretty dangerous sign, but I would still say we be holding this bullish one higher. As I said, I'm really seeing us reach back into that buy side liquidity pretty much no matter what really happens, but I can be wrong, of course, and I can be biased. But let's see. I still trust myself here, but it's not about trusting myself, it's about what the market's gonna do, as always. But I really like how we retested Asian lows. This usually is a bullish sign. I still see us reaching back into these highs though, and even though Asian highs, right, initiating above, but it is a pretty strong consolidation we formed. So what did I want to see? I want to check chat slightly. No one really watching. It's all good though. Let's see us initiating here. I'm considering scaling in when we inverse here in retest. I still think that's gonna happen though. So I'm willing to put my money at risk here. But we did have really pretty strong rejections around this area, which what might make the trade fail. But still trusting it. I think we're gonna hold these wicks. If we look at price here, we see this wicks right there. Gonna do this, and yeah, that's pretty bearish. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty bearish. But let's wait. Yeah, that's it's the 1 minute candles, but this is what I see this pattern a lot of times where we build this trend line liquidity, and then the third time, which is here, we form a higher low and then we start breaking and taking it. That's why I'm confident in us reaching this. I've just seen this pattern pretty much a lot of times until now, but as always, let price dictate. It would be nice to at least get a break even for the day, at least for London. We can potentially make like a 1% at most if we actually scale in on this, because we would have 2% on TP getting hit and on a scale in another 1%, so we can be a bit above break even, but it would have been a way different outcome if we would manage to take that good decision there to avoid the trade until we see the 50-minute inversion. But that just becomes a rule for myself now. I mean, from now on, it's something I'm just gonna do every single day when trading. when we have a 50-minute inversion, I'm waiting for it to, or a 50-minute gap in our way against our idea, I'm always waiting for it to get invalidated before trading. This already looks good here, like a good scaling, but I'm just gonna be patient and wait for that inversion. I don't want to really overexpose myself on this trade. Even if I want to make money on the day, I cannot just be dumb, you know. I cannot just be stupid. But yeah, we're waiting on that. But that's a really good reaction. It's kind of exactly how it looked in my mind, though. Kind of exactly how it looked in my mind. Curious if this trade one plays out. It should play out towards Asian highs, but I'm curious. You can also take these recent highs as liquidity and or as drawn liquidity and then pursue lower prices of it. So things can always happen. Oh, random. I hope you guys can see my screen. Can you? Yes. Good. That's goody, bro. Give me some bots. Ooh, there's some bots right there. Where is you at, boy? Where is you at, little boy? Where are you guys shooting me from, bro? Yeah, that's a good start. It kinda is happening how I imagine it, but yeah, that's a good start. On the inversion, we consider scaling in. So we could have scaled in, maybe. Oh, we have perks. My bad, chief. Oh. Bro, just die, little bitch. Little boy. That's good. Okay, we're finally seeing the idea play out. Could have been way different, but yeah, we would have made a lot more on this day if we wouldn't have made that mistake initially. But trading, just trading, little bro. Sorry for little bro and you. It's not intentional. Yeah, I want to see a strong close above the highs. I want to see a gap. And when cases like this happens, it's usually when we have 3 highs building liquidity, it's usually too much liquidity, and it usually gets initiated above. It doesn't get ran over. Now we have this gap that I do want to see form. This is pretty important. We can even scale in on this, I would say, but maybe on the personal. Yeah, maybe on the personal, I'm down to scale in here. Let me see, where's my Chrome. We can do, I don't know, market. Oh shit, we're late, but it's all good though. For the personal, as I said, I'm taking a few entries. Stop loss is gonna be below that. We're gonna do like $5. Oops. Okay, it's fine. That's my order. Let's see. On the personal, I'm doing my scaling here, but on the funded, I'm waiting on more structure. I'm waiting on the weeks or some shit. You get what I mean? I'm waiting for like price to close above the highs and come back and read this. But as I said, on the personal, I'm always taking iffier or riskier entries. Fuck are you, bitch ass boy? Oh shit. What's happening, bro? Oh my god, it's so intense. It doesn't look like it's on. But what can you do? That's a strong rejection. That's a pretty strong rejection, I would say. We're gonna move my stop loss a bit lower here below this order block, just in case. No, bro. Fuck. That's bad. I think this Kevin already got stopped out. This idea just doesn't want to play. Or is it? Almost. Bă, dar foto sniperul, mătii. Bro, what is this, man? I think it's rare, but I still think it's gonna hold. We're gonna see at the top FVG how we're gonna do. At the morții, mate. Where? Oh, it just dropped like an idiot. Oh my god, I have so much money. 70k and Warzone is pretty huge to have something like this. They were shooting me the boy. It's struggling a lot on that 51 AVG, and I wouldn't really expect it considering, I don't know how strong my drone liquidity is though. I wouldn't really expect it. We should still be holding this higher, but it's weird. It didn't even take the high and still reacted lower, so I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. But probably still gonna let it run, no matter what, really. Looks bullish still for me. I don't know if I'm tripping again. We gotta see at the top of the inversion how we behave, but yeah, maybe I'm tripping. But we'll see. For now, I'm still letting it run, and yeah. I do really need to lock in a sense. It's time to make this happen. So I think after this show, maybe not even tomorrow, probably next week is gonna be a magistical lock-in on really being consistent. I don't think I did necessarily a bad job, but I know if I would have fully locked in, I would have taken the right decision. But it's always a matter of learning, to be honest. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see at the top inversion how we behave. If we behave badly, it's probably time to close because we're just respecting really hard. I'll say if this MVG gets inversed, we can scale in on the funded, I would say. was at around break even. For the main position, I didn't like that bearish gap. How we respected. Yeah, pre-EL day. I'm not gonna lie, I need to lock in. I can't be doing this shit. Look at how important that 15-minute VG ended up being, bro. We rejected it 4 fucking times. It's crazy. I'm such a strong bias, but it is what it is, right? This week we've been kind of breaking even, which is annoying, but this is what happens when you're coming off a break. Execution folds. You have to forward, get back into rhythm and shit like that. It's a bit annoying, but yeah, I need to lock in because I will make it. I need to make this account work, and I will make it, but not like this, definitely. It's not such a bad, I would say, like mid performance, but I need to be at peak performance every single day if I really want to be turning profitable, or I have already turned, but yeah, we can be doing this. So this was it for today. We took a big L on this down move, and now we got stopped out of break even, so pretty bad day, but bias still strong for me. It's just that we didn't manage the timing well here in terms of zone, but yeah, from now on 50-minute FVGs getting inverse, or we seeing us in validation on that 50-minute gap is gonna be non-negotiable. It's gonna be non-negotiable, the same as is. We need to wait for the higher low when we have a lot of bearish momentum. So those are gonna become my rules. But yeah, sad, bro.